Ruud van Nistelrooy to Man United. The approach has been made by Manchester United. Changes coming into the club of Manchester United. And obviously, Erik ten Hag looks like he's going to be losing some of his what we call his staff. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. It's really not shocking that after we put out a story yesterday that Ineos got shocked by the story that was put out, or by the interview that was put out by Erik ten Hag, that we now have to discuss lots of things concerning Erik ten Hag and his new people obviously coming through the club of Manchester United. Remember, Erik ten Hag was really adamant that they should obviously keep Benjamin McCarthy as a forward coach, on his part of the coaching staff. You understand? And now the United side has said, all right, you wanted Ben McCarthy. He's really a forward coach. What if we get you one of the best players that went ahead to score close to 150 goals in 250 appearances for the club of Manchester United to come in through and really be part of the coaching staff at the club of Manchester United, and then you will obviously improve a lot with him. He's a proven coach. He worked with PSV. And what are you saying? And this is what I love about the job of Manchester United right now, because they're now offering us better and better options. Though there is a side of the story that you're going to be discussing about that's going to be really causing what you call huge discussions onto this video, but here onto this channel, this is what we do. And let's obviously get into the story as we thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Fabrizio Romano drop an exclusive that Ruud van Nistelrooy has been approached to be part of Erik ten Hag's new staff at the club of Manchester United. Up to Van Nistelrooy, as he's also a strong candidate to be new Burnley manager to replace Vincent Kompany. Decision next week. That is it. Then he added and said changes among staff members is a concrete possibility. This is one of the points discussed between Erik ten Hag and the hierarchy. Obviously, if you're to tell me of the two, Benjamin McCarthy and Ruud van Nistelrooy, whom should I obviously bring in through the club of Manchester United as a coach, I think Ruud van Nistelrooy serves a better purpose. Why? He's a forward. He can train forwards, you understand? And he's a proven coach. Remember, he worked at PSV, you remember very well, and he downed tools at PSV when things are not going on well. And for Benedict McCarthy, he was working in South Africa. He got sacked, I think, like 2-3 times. I think the South African national team sacked him. I think as a chief sacked him, and there is the other team that really saw him leave the club, So if you tell me that Ruud van Nistelrooy is coming in through, I really want him at the club of Manchester United if at all he accepts. Why? He knows the culture of the club of Manchester United, right? And he knows what exactly Sir Alex Ferguson did to these players. Obviously, when he represents that team of Manchester United that saw us dominate the world of football for a very long period of time. Though he came in through, I think, around 2001, and he left after 5 years in 2006, Ruud van Nistelrooy will never be forgotten in the history for the club of Manchester United. And he comes in through to be part of the coaching staff for the club of Manchester United. He's a coach. He's a proven coach. He knows what to do. He is tested, and he is good at improving players. And when you look at the strikers that we are having and the ones that are really targeting, you really believe that you need a person like Ruud van Nistelrooy. If Rasmus Højlund faces Ruud van Nistelrooy in every training, Van Nistelrooy will tell him how to obviously be a clinical finisher. You understand? And we also tell these other wide forwards on how to make it easy for the center forward to obviously score. Where should you be looking to obviously put in that pass? When you reach this side, communication has to be made, and when communication is made, you obviously have to come out and obviously tell us exactly where the ball is supposed to be played. So that is the beauty of having Ruud van Nistelrooy at the club of Manchester United, and he represents the history for the club of Manchester United. And I won't be surprised if at all Sir Alex Ferguson is among the people that are behind the persuasive actions to bring in Ruud van Nistelrooy at the club of Manchester United. It's exciting that we are adding another member to the squad of the staff that has really huge experience in here at the club of Manchester United. Even if it's Zexi, you bring him at the club of Manchester United, obviously he will obviously get improved and really become better as a striker. And he can also try to convince Zexi to come to the club of Manchester United that, please, I'm going to be your coach. And he's one of the clinical finishers this world is going to effort to see, Ruud van Nistelrooy. And Zexi will obviously have to admit. Now, the big question is the decision he's supposed to make. He's supposed to make a decision on whether he's going to Burnley in the Championship or he comes to Manchester United. I believe Ineos are trying to get in a person to know these players, and then by the time Erik ten Hag does a single mistake, they give Ruud van Nistelrooy as an interim. Remember, they want a puppet at the job, and Ruud van Nistelrooy will be a puppet. And I know in the discussions they'll be like, you are the next in charge. I know you are the next in charge at Manchester United, and Ruud van Nistelrooy will be like, who wouldn't like to take the United job? I would love to take the United job. This is a chance for me to obviously prove myself that if Erik ten Hag gets sacked, I can really get in, because he is really looked at one of those people that are being loved by the fans. And I tell you, if Erik ten Hag is sacked and Ruud van Nistelrooy is being given the job, most fans of Man United will be excited that, all right, Ruud van Nistelrooy is here at the club of Manchester United. He's one of our legends here, and he is really going to take us far. And this is what Ineos is doing. And look at this deal hugely. When Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in through, you are going to see lots of huge stories that are really positive about him doing what we call the PR. You get? Doing the PR about Ruud van Nistelrooy. The PR machines are really going to come into play of Ineos. They're going to write good things. Everything you see positive at the club on the pitch that has not gone ahead to be seen the previous seasons, they will be saying that is Ruud van Nistelrooy's energy, or Ruud van Nistelrooy's hand has gone ahead obviously changing through. So they are going to try to paint a picture that Ruud van Nistelrooy is the guy. You understand? That he's the guy and you people should fall in love with him. You understand? That's going to be the duel, and it will work in the favor of Ineos because they'll prepare people for the bad news and good news. Bad news of Erik ten Hag leaving and Ruud van Nistelrooy leaving. But you cannot obviously cancel out that they might make one of the best winning teams at the club of Manchester United, because Ruud van Nistelrooy has a very huge knowledge when it comes to football. There is Van der Gaar is also having some huge knowledge, and Erik ten Hag also has some huge knowledge about football. You understand? So for me, I'm looking at this as a super move for Van Nistelrooy to come in through, but it puts Erik ten Hag on tenterhooks, because this is the guy who is going to be coming in through and being looked to as the person or the next in command to obviously come in through and take over. And whatever goes wrong, Ineos will find it easy to sack Erik ten Hag and give Ruud van Nistelrooy the job. That is it. You know? So we wait and see whether Ruud van Nistelrooy accepts the job. But I believe he's going to accept it, because when you come in through at Manchester United, the experience that you get at Manchester United helps you find bigger clubs to coach, not Burnley, you know? And he wouldn't also want to go to Burnley. You understand? Because if you're at Manchester United, you might obviously act like which other manager that was really the assistant of let me check. The Portuguese manager who last Portuguese manager Egypt. I've forgotten the name of the guy. Last Egypt. I remember the guy. I've forgotten his name. From Manchester United, he went to the side of he went to Real Madrid and he was really working with Sir Alex Ferguson. You get? You understand? So, I think Manchester United, you know, is going to be doing that. Getting in this guy, and we'll be looking at that guy. I've forgotten his name, but I think when I remember it, I'm going to drop it into the video before it comes to an end. He came in through to really work with Sir Alex Ferguson, and then later he was given a job to obviously go and manage Real Madrid. Assistant manager. Let me check what this guy's name. Joins Madrid. I have to look for this guy's name, and I have to get it. Carlos Queiroz. So, Carlos Queiroz was working with Sir Alex Ferguson, and then later he really joined Real Madrid as a manager. And Ferguson will be like telling Ruud van Nistelrooy, you remember that guy? He worked with me, we were there, and then he went direct to Real Madrid. And if your tactics are proven right, you can really find yourself going for a big team, because if a manager like Company can leave Burnley and be given a chance to manage the side of Bayern Munich, why not Ruud van Nistelrooy if at all he proves himself at the club of Manchester United? So if at all you're Ruud van Nistelrooy, I think the deal for Manchester United makes a lot of sense for his career than any other deal. One, Ruud van Nistelrooy can become the replacement of Erik ten Hag. Two, Ruud van Nistelrooy can use Manchester United as a springboard to become the manager of another team, you know, that is really of a higher hierarchy than Burnley. If I'm Ruud van Nistelrooy, I grasp this chance when it's still hot and it looks like United are in for him, and they are not willing to obviously give the guy a new contract who goes by the names of Benedict McCarthy. But for Marcel van der Gaar, I know he's going to stay at the job, and we wait to see how things really pan out in here in the mix. Now, Bruno Fernandes, after scoring yesterday against the side of Romania, he came out and said, I have to. They asked him on his memories this season. He said, I have two. One with Sporting, when I broke all the records for the midfield as a goal scorer, and the second one, my second year in the Premier League with Manchester United, I also broke the record, but again for the Premier League. So those are his memories, and he also hinted on two scenarios that he went ahead, obviously, make his season, all this season, winning the FA Cup for Manchester United and wanting to lift what we call the league. You understand? Sorry, to win the Euros with Portugal. So he's like charged to win the Euros with Portugal. And if I told you watch Rocani Media Football, I told you my favorites: France, England, Germany, and Portugal. That is it. So guys, I call upon for your reactions into Ruud van Nistelrooy to Manchester United approach made. Do you want him to obviously come and work with Erik ten Hag? You know? Then what do you make about Bruno Fernandes? And what do you think is going to happen to Benedict McCarthy and Marcel van der Gaar, who is the assistant of Erik ten Hag? And Benedict McCarthy is the forward coach. Do you think Van Nistelrooy will offer a better job at the club of Manchester United than any of these people I'm talking about? All that and more into the comment section. But continue to subscribe to this channel because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers, you know, and let's see this go to where we deserve to be. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. Rock and David has gonna hate to come in late, but I tell you, I'm gonna be giving you the gist that you guys deserve to know about your team, and that is Manchester United. Ciao, ciao.